Are we talking?
I don't know. Are you?
Are you just waiting for me to talk?
Yeah.
Hi.
What is happening, everybody? It's Sunday. Sunday live haul or Sunday live show. We're here.
The only.
The one and only.
We can't seem to manage 2 weeks, 2 shows a week. We keep trying and then failing.
I mean, we don't really try that hard.
True.
Anyway, welcome everybody to today's show. We do have a live studio audience of one today, but I don't think they... Oh.
There's a hand. Hi.
Lorna is in town from the Pacific Northwest, the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and she's here visiting us. She came today. She leaves on Friday. She brought some cooler weather with her, which I'm okay with.
It's only 105 today. It was 110 yesterday.
She's not going to be on the show today, other than we might hear some giggles, some coughing, maybe some words, some some sniffles, some snuffles. But anyway, as soon as we get done with the show today, we're going to go jump in the pool. Pretty excited about it. You've got some new pool floaties that you're excited to christen.
I did. I got some fun pool floaties for us.
So
because Lorna's here.
So
she hasn't visited in 2 years.
It has been 2 years. It's crazy.
Lorna is usually one of our favorite friends to come and visit, and she's usually here at least once a year, but like it's been at least twice a year for the past several years. And then last year, COVID.
Yeah.
So
it ended up being 2 years. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're excited to have her here. It's been super hot here. I think today it's going to hit 104. Yesterday it was 108. We had our
It was like 100. It was 109 in Henderson. So we hit 109 here.
And so we had our eBay meetup, and somebody, I'm not going to name any names, but somebody with pink hair decided that a summertime barbecue starting at 1 p.m. was a good idea in Vegas. I don't know what she was thinking. And it happened to turn out to be like one of the hotter days.
It was the hottest day of the year so far.
So that was fun. But then Lorna got here today, and then the rest of this next week, while she's here, it's going to be like mid-90s, which in Vegas with no humidity, mid-90s is like
perfect.
Nice. It's really, really nice.
So, yesterday's cookout went well. Thank you to all the people that are watching this that showed up yesterday. It was great. We actually had 3 people that have never been to meetups before. One of them being Dana, Miss House of Rocks, her husband Johnny, who has finally started his own eBay store.
He's come over to the dark side.
We have brought him over to the dark side, so he is now a seller. So he attended the meetup. Not that he hasn't been to our house a bazillion times, because he has. And then Crystal, who is my lister, but is also a seller in her own right. And she has just never been able to attend meetups before. And she was able to come yesterday to meet people in real life. So that was pretty nice. And we had a new seller, new to us anyway, that we had never met before, that lives in the area. Her name is Beth. So if you're watching, Beth, it was really great to meet you. I hope you come back to the next meetup. But I will say I was a little bit bummed because we have meetups. We have them at our house, or we have them at a central location. This was the first one back. This is actually the first, from what I understand from the community leaders, that this is the first eBay meetup in person anywhere in the country since pre-COVID. So we did our first in-person meetup, and we wanted to do it with a big bang. We wanted to have a barbecue at the house and treat all of our eBay sellers to lunch. We don't normally do that, obviously. It's that's too pricey because we don't charge for the meetups. I don't charge for meetups here. And so we had 36 people RSVP to get a good head count, and I have to say, more than 50% did not show up. So
a little sad. I expected
some attrition. There's always people that can't make it for one reason or another. Yeah. It's like going to a wedding reception. You're going to have 2 or 3 people that RSVP that don't show up. Not that this was a wedding reception, not nearly that as important. But yeah, it was like 50%.
Yeah. It was so hot though that I feel like had we had more people, it would have been even tougher because you're going in and out. The air conditioning was struggling to keep up.
That's true.
So
most people spent the majority of the time in the house because it really was just too hot, even with the overhang to sit outside. But we had some nice swag, and
I barbecued some brats. They were pretty good. We had a brat bar.
We had a fancy brat bar, and lots of people brought some really good dishes. We had a lot of food.
Crystal made lumpia. It was delicious. Dorothy brought these awesome stuffed jalapenos that I was eating like crazy.
And what was in the pot that she brought? She brought like 3 things.
Beans.
Oh, everything was so yummy.
Yeah, lots of really good food. And of course, Mike and Courtney brought their famous. Is Mike the one who makes it, or does Courtney make it? But their famous
spinach dip.
In the bread bowl. He even made an extra one just for us to hide away in the fridge. So that was awesome. So basically, we ate a lot of food and got real hot. Anyway, so yeah, I guess that kind of covers what's been going on. We're going to go get into our regular show here. We break it into 3 parts. The first part, we look at our real numbers for the last week, our gross numbers, break down the fees and our cost of goods and whatnot. This one over here, I think I put the fear of God. She had to come to Jesus moment last week when I actually beat her in gross sales. And she said, never again. So help me God. She had like a little Scarlett O'Hara on Tara speech where I wore curtains.
I pulled the curtains down. I turned them into a dress.
I think you're mixing up your parts. But anyway, but yes, that does happen as well. And she decided that she was going to go crazy and have a huge sale day yesterday because it's been pretty rough.
It's been pretty rough. I will say I did have a fantastic sales day yesterday, but it is the best single sales day I've had in 2 months.
Yeah.
So that goes to tell you something.
It's been like a pretty relatively mediocre weekend, but I am going to hit, at least as of now, about $1,000 worth of stuff to ship out tomorrow. Like 260 of that is eBay. That's how bad, like my eBay, I have 5 things going out from eBay. But I sold more on Etsy this weekend so far than I have on eBay. And the Etsy's not been great for me. So it's been a weird little bit of time. I don't know what's up, but I guess I just need to get some more listing done. Okay, so in real numbers, middle part of the show, we look at our sales highlights for the last week. Some of the cool things we
God,
sold.
am I drinking kombucha? No.
I love kombucha.
No.
Yeah. I think kombucha is delicious. But anyway, then we look at our sales highlights for the last week, which I struggled with because I didn't have hardly any I didn't have any really high dollar amount things. I think the most expensive thing I sold was for $130, which I get for some people that's a pretty high number, but I'm always hoping for at least one thing that's a couple hundred. But it was a lot of mid-level stuff that sold for me this week.
A lot of mediocre.
Yeah, and then the last part is we look at our haul from the last week. You've got some stuff, I think, from our Oregon haul, some different things that have come back from Crystal after being photographed and listed. I have a little stack of things. I did get yesterday's fits when I took Allison there briefly last weekend. Wasn't planning on buying anything. I bought some stuff, guys, but that's good because that means I have something to share. So that's pretty much what we're doing. So you want to get into this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into our numbers.
You laying down? You have take a little nappy over there?
Lorna did have to get up in the middle of the night to get on a 7 a.m. flight. She's almost 2.5 hours away from the airport.
Yeah.
So she did have to get up in the middle of the night to come here. So if she falls asleep, if we hear snoring,
it's okay. She's just ready for the pool.
It's just Lorna.
I definitely am wanting a nap today. So I know when we go to the pool, I'm gonna do a little swim. Then I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna lie in the sun.
I'm not a napper.
And I'm just gonna fall asleep in the sunshine. And
that's okay. I'll flip. I'll just hang out.
I fell asleep the last time I was at the dentist. Okay, so if I'm ready for a nap, I'm gonna take a nap. So did I tell you about that? She's in there. The woman's in there cleaning my teeth and going to town. Jocelyn in there. And I had jerked because I had just when you first fall asleep and you jerk awake, and she's like, "Ooh, did I hit a nerve or something? Or was that kind of sensitive?" And I was like, "No, I just fell asleep." I don't know why. It's weird.
With your mouth wide open, with somebody's hands in your mouth.
I know. I don't know. I don't know. It's like sitting in the back of our friend's Jeep when they were.
So Tommy in Seattle says he's late. Who's Lorna? Lorna is one of our besties. She is an eBay reseller friend. She lives in the Pacific Northwest. She lives actually in Sequim in Washington State. And, she has not been here to visit in 2 years, but she used to come and visit at least twice a year. And we've been to visit her. And so we're just happy she's here.
We are.
But she's hiding because she got up in the middle of the night to fly and she does not want to be on camera.
Yeah.
So
she's not feeling it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. We can look at our numbers and who doggy. That's all I got to say.
What are we who doggy in?
My numbers.
Oh.
All right. So this is ending yesterday. I don't need your added vocalizations of how terrible my sales are. Okay, actually, it wasn't that terrible.
No, it's not terrible.
I still broke 2,000 on my total gross sales. I really like to hit 3 or more, just because of like what I put out as far as my cost of goods. I would like to be able to hit 3 or more. So, but as long as I can stay above 2, I'm like, okay, I can get through this week. So 18 eBay orders, 9 Etsy orders. So Etsy definitely has picked up a little bit. Let's see if we can keep this going. 0 Instagram orders, 5 Grailed and Mercari. Actually, it's only Grailed, 5 orders for a total of 32 outgoing orders. My eBay gross sales, $1,163.89. At least I broke 1,000 there. I will tell you, my last 7 days as of today, I'm below 900. So definitely dropped down on eBay. Etsy, $615.31. If you remember last week and the week before, I think I only did like a couple $100. So I will take $615.31 for sure. Nothing on Instagram, and then Grailed, $418. So my total gross sales, $2,197.20. My shipping down a little bit.
The shipping was low.
Yeah, I mean, when you're not shipping as much stuff, it definitely makes a difference. $132.11. You can see the breakdown of my fees there. My cost of goods, $350. So my net total sales, $1,467.70. So actually, not terrible. And my gross average sale price, $68.66. I like to keep it 70 and above, but like I said, I had a lot of lower mid-level things sell. And so my net average sale price, $45.87. I think that's pretty good. So I'm fine with this for a summer. We're in the, we talk about the slumber slowdown. No, we talk about the summer slowdown. It definitely is a real thing depending on what kind of stuff you sell.
For sure.
So for people who sell just clothing like I do, the summer can be a little bit slower. And this year, I think with everything opening up across the country, I know for us, we've been going nonstop in the last couple of months. Mm-hmm. People are out enjoying themselves, and maybe it'll pick up later, but I don't know. It's been weird.
Yeah, it's whatever it is. I figure I made more money last year than I did this year, and if that's the case, but this year I actually get to go out and do stuff again.
Yeah.
It's a good trade-off.
Well, and you also have to remember last year this time, I think the first stimulus check had gone out. I believe. We were past the first part of the shutdown where people were panicking. People were stuck at home. They weren't able to go anywhere. They were bored. They were saving money, not going out to eat and going out and doing stuff
and doing summer vacations.
Not everybody, but
not a lot of people did summer vacations. Yeah.
I remember, last summer was unusually good for a lot of sellers. I know for us, we did really well. So when we look at our numbers this year compared to last year, it looks a little rough, guys.
It's true,
but it is what it is. So why don't we go ahead and look at your numbers, and thanks to your day yesterday, mm-hmm. I mean, if you hadn't sold anything yesterday, you'd be 1,000 lower.
Yeah, 1,100 lower. Yeah. Good. So I had 39 orders on eBay. That's good. 5 on Etsy, 13 on Poshmark. I had a great Poshmark week. 4 on Mercari and 2 on Facebook Marketplace for a total of 63 orders. That makes for a good week for me. This was actually a good week altogether. 3,000 to 3,500 is where I want to be. So I'm happy with this week. So I did 23.89.93 on eBay. I do prefer to keep that closer to the $3,000 range. But I'll take it. So 286 on Etsy, 592 on Posh, 99 on Mercari, 160 on Facebook Marketplace for a total of 35.27.11. So I feel like my sales are back where they need to be. And so we did. My shipping was a little high, $323. I did have 6 or 7 international orders, and one of them happens to be $80 in shipping. I did have one big sale of 6 items that I bundled together for someone in the Netherlands yesterday, and they paid $80 to ship that. So nice. That is a good portion of the shipping right there. eBay fees, Etsy fees, Poshmark fees, Mercari fees, all the fees, for a total of $766.94. My cost of goods, always relatively low compared to my sales. So $252 for my cost of goods. And my total net sales, $25.0817, which is perfect. That's where I want to be. $2,500 net every week is where I want to be. I would like to be depositing $10,000 a month. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My gross average sale price is very close to where I like to be. I like to be around $60. This is just about $56 gross average sale price. And my net is $39.81. So not terrible.
Nate, we definitely missed you, and Elizabeth.
We did.
We were sad because we were so excited when we had heard from you guys that you were coming for the barbecue. So yes, we were definitely sad, and I figured that the heat probably did keep some people home because it was hot. It was hot. Anyway, so I hope you're feeling better now, Nate. We definitely missed you. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our sales highlights for the week. And we'll start with you. Hold on a second now.
I'm going to share the screen.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So this is something I actually picked up at the bins. I'm sure I was with Corey because I generally go with Corey to the bins. This was a really hot brand. This was kind of like Affliction, but even higher end for women's clothing. A few years ago, actually, I had several items in this brand and I used to wear it and I love it. 100% cashmere. It's a little bit dated, the whole sublimation and the skulls and stuff like that. It's not quite as cool as it once was. But I picked this up at the bins. It's super lightweight cashmere. So I paid less than $1 for this item and it had some moth damage. As you can see, there's a couple of moth holes. Mentioned it right in the listing, showed it in the photos, and it's still sold for $62.
Plus shipping.
Plus shipping. Yeah, it was really cool. It's just a brand to keep an eye out for. Raw 7. It's well made, women's kind of like rocker edgy clothing, and it sells really well.
Cool. All right, first up, I was trying to figure out which stuff to show you guys because, like I said, a lot of lower price stuff sold. But I wanted to show this one because it's just a basic T-shirt. I think I paid like $5 for it at yesterday's Fits. Nothing super exciting about it. Just a vintage '90s Baltimore Orioles. And I've only had this listed for a few weeks, and I had it at $48.99. And with my price points, if you watched before, I have it so it goes on sale for $48.99, and I have best offer, and I already know the lowest I want to sell it for is $40. For some reason, this shirt, it's nothing special, but for some reason, this shirt, I had multiple people making offers on it here and on other platforms like Grailed.
Is it just not that there's not a lot of Orioles merch in
I
general?
have no idea, but for whatever reason, I mean, it's a nice shirt if you're a fan of the Orioles and you want a vintage shirt, but I kept getting offers, but it was like $10 or $22 or $18. And they do the thing where it's like, I'll pay $22 right now. Like that's
I'll pay right now.
I know, it's so stupid. And I remember I even had one guy who was kind of like a dick about it. It did the whole like, LOL, good luck. Cause I didn't want to sell it to him for less than whatever. But I knew like I can get $40 for this. Like I said, I only had it up for a few weeks and I ended up selling it to some guy who bought this and another t-shirt for $40 a piece. So I made an $80 sale, shipped them together, and it was all good. And so I guess what I'm saying is you can have a little faith in your items. If you have good items that should sell, there's nothing wrong with having a set price that you are going to stick to your guns. It's okay. Especially, maybe if I'd had this for, a couple of months and somebody was like, I'll give you $35 for it, I would have been like, fine, whatever. But there's nothing wrong with setting a price and sticking with it. And usually you're going to end up getting it if it's something that's worth selling. So that's my story, guys.
So Greg says, sorry, I'm tardy. I have a note from Boom Boom Washington's mom. Is that a Welcome Back Carter reference? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think that might have been.
Grandma. All right.
Oh,
there you go.
What an ass. We got a chuckle from the peanut gallery. So this is something I picked up from my big buy at yesterday's Fits, which I don't do very often, but I did go in about 2 months ago and do a big purchase from them. So I think I paid $15 for this shirt. And it sold for the price you see there, $67.11. It is Rain Spooner, which I love, Rain Spooner stuff. But Rain Spooner sports branded or theme branded stuff sells better and higher priced than most of their things. So this is done in Korea. It's vintage. It's probably early 90s-ish as far as the era for that brand.
Well, it says 75 years, so you probably could look it up.
Oh, yeah.
Figure out when Wrigley Field.
Whenever that was. Yeah. So anyway. Sold for $67. I paid $15 for it, and
nice.
Yeah, I haven't had it long. I've had it listed for just a couple weeks. I'm pretty happy with that.
So Jacob wants to know: do you ever have a shirt that you just start on an eBay auction with or without reserve? I mean, I don't think either one of us hardly ever use auctions.
Never. I use auctions maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really that rare.
I mean, when it comes to like vintage t-shirts and streetwear and stuff, it's become so popular. There is some stuff that, especially when you got like the vintage flea going on, stuff on Instagram, stuff is auctioning for crazy amounts of money, but that stuff's auctioning. It's like a 5-minute auction or 10-minute auction. I still think for the most part, unless you have something so crazy rare that a lot of people are looking for, even with the super trendy stuff that's really popular right now, like vintage t-shirts, I just don't think auctions are the way to go. And I feel like everybody is auctioning their stuff on eBay now when it comes to t-shirts. When I'm trying to look for stuff to buy, it drives me crazy. It's like, I don't want to wait a week to come back and see what's going on with it. It's annoying from a buyer perspective, in my opinion.
Yeah, we are an immediate gratification society. So in order for an auction to be successful, you need a minimum of 2 people willing to do battle over the same commodity. Putting something in auction and getting one bid defeats the purpose of having an auction. You need to have 2 people that are willing to bid higher than your minimum asking price and duke each other out, at least 2 people. And that is harder and harder to find because people just don't care for that type of buying anymore.
Yeah.
We are at a Amazon Prime time. When Amazon slowed down and Prime was taking more than 2 days, I mean, people were losing their shit. And the reality is that getting something all right, I'm sorry you did not get your Swiffer wipes in 2 days, but it's not an emergency.
Yeah.
But we're just used to that now. So people.
Well, and like I said, all the auctions that are happening, all the bidding that's happening on Instagram, I mean, it's happening in minutes. So it's not like they're having to wait a week.
Yeah.
So I think, sometimes you can make the most money by doing an auction on eBay, but it's a pretty rare.
But you're also, when they're doing it on Instagram, you are doing it to a focused audience that wants that totally particular item. It's entirely different than 180 million people that are on eBay as buyers right now, which is how many people are on eBay. One more thing I just wanted to say, Naomi said, my pictures are popping off the page. That is all due to, yes, Crystal takes the pictures, don't get me wrong, but that is because of the photo room app on the back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Next one for me. So this one, again, not a super high price sale, but I think what's kind of cool about this one is it's just a basic, I don't even know what's going on with this. 5,397 miles to Waldrug, South Dakota, USA, Sky Parlor. I don't even know what it means, you guys.
I don't either.
It's some sort of like tourist attraction. I don't know. It's a small t-shirt. It's just a weird t-shirt. I paid maybe $5 for it, and it's sold for the price you see there, $48.99. But also, whoever bought it apparently needed it real bad for something because they paid an additional $24 to have it express shipped to them. I do have that option on. For me, I put all my stuff is free first class, and then they can pay. I think it's like I have like $7.95. They can get priority, or $23.95, and they can get express, because when it comes to t-shirts and sweatshirts, I can just pop them in a padded flat rate mailer, either priority or express. So it's super easy for me to do, and it just gives them the option. And let me tell you, I've had it picked like 3 or 4 times in the last couple of weeks. It's been really weird. So just kind of you always want to have those extra shipping options. They don't have to reach out to you, or people will buy something and then they'll reach out to you and be like, hey, I need to get this tomorrow. And then you got to figure out how to charge them and invoice them or do it.
I figured it out how to do it.
I know you can figure it out, but it's just, to me, it's extra work.
It is extra work, but I'm just saying, how eBay does not like you to use email addresses through communication. And I understand the reasoning behind that, but sometimes post sale, it's valid to collect extra shipping, or if something comes back to you because the address was incorrect and you have to ask somebody to throw money again. Here's my little tip for that. Write out your email address for your PayPal on a piece of paper, take a photograph of it, and upload the photograph as a reply. It gets around the bot if you're only trying to do it for the right reasons. I'm not saying do not take the transaction off of eBay, but it's when someone has already paid and they would like to pay to upgrade shipping. If it's not something you have as an option, like myself.
Or maybe you have to reship something out because it gets returned. Who knows? Whatever reason.
For one of those types of things, because it's so hard to communicate with a buyer. And unfortunately, eBay does not have a good workaround for that. They don't. They just tell you, oh, well, yeah, we don't have an answer for you. That is my solution to it anyway.
Yeah. All right. That's it for this one. Next.
This is something I actually paid up a little bit for. I think I paid $12 for this shirt.
You didn't have it for that long.
I've had it for a few months. I picked this up at Goodwill, and one shopping trip over the winter. I think I've had it for a good 6 months, to be honest with you. I paid like $10 or $12 for it, and it sold for the price you see there for $91. It did take a little bit. It's a video game thing. I don't know what the heck it is, but yeah.
You sold it.
I sold
That's
it.
about it.
And they paid shipping.
And they paid shipping. All right, next up, look at this awesome T-shirt. 80s.
I love that one.
Bagels T-shirt. Everyone loves them. This is Lender's Bagels. They were the first company to create bagels that you could buy in the grocery store in a bag, as opposed to going, I think, to a bagel shop or whatever. So they kind of pioneered the whole making bagels, and I think they'd freeze them or something and ship them out to all the stores.
Yeah, and you can buy them in the grocery store in the freezer still.
Yeah, so they're like the OG grocery store bagel.
I'm from Rhode Island. We're not known for bagels. That's the bagel I used to have.
Yeah. But I mean, bagels are definitely more of an East Coast thing than West Coast for sure.
Well, yeah, New York.
So, well, thank you for pointing that out.
I'm gonna punch you.
Get off your dang phone. Anyway, so I only have this listed for like a week, I think. And I've been talking about snack teas, and I don't know, this isn't exactly. I mean,
bagel's not a snack.
You don't ever have a bagel for a snack? Is it a dinner? Is it an entree?
I don't know. I think it's a breakfast food.
It's a snack. It can be a snack or whatever.
It's a breakfast food.
But I like these logo T-shirts that have like some old product that somebody may have had when they were a kid or anything. Again, when you're selling vintage, you're selling nostalgia. So this is pretty cool. And so I took an offer for $75 for this, and it is going to Australia, I believe.
Oh, so make a little money on the shipping too.
Exactly. So you can see when I'm priced up at $97.99, usually my bottom price is $65. And so if somebody sends me an offer at $75, I'm going to be like, yep, let's do it. Let's dance this one out. So
let's dance it out.
Let's dance it out. All right. What's this fancy stuff?
This is I picked this up at a garage sale. I'm not sure if I ever showed this in a haul or not. But I picked this up at I think it was a garage sale. So I paid about $5 for it. I may have paid a little bit less than that, but my guesstimation is $5. When you have large finished needlepoint, and this was already framed in a vintage frame and everything, they can sell. It'll sit for a little while sometimes, but they can sell. And it's sold for the price you see there, $94.76. It was even signed, so you could picture that, that it was from the 80s because it was completed in the 80s. And it was professionally framed and given as a gift. So it sold for $95. I paid about $5. Customer paid shipping. It actually went right to California in a perfectly sized box I happen to have on hand, which I love. And it actually cost me about $22 to ship. So buyer paid $20.
Not bad. That's pretty good. All right, next up. So I've been really focusing on T-shirts and sweatshirts. Occasionally I'll pick up a sweater here or there. Definitely no pants. But I really haven't been picking up jackets at all. So this is one that I've had for a long time. Easily, I don't know, a couple of years, year and a half, couple of years. Inside NFL, HBO Sports. Now, this is a jacket I have sent out offers for $100 multiple times. I paid maybe $20 for it because I picked it up like at Savers a couple of years ago. And so when it all of a sudden sold for my full sale price, $139.99, I was super happy because here is an item I've had forever. Make some money on it, get it out the door. Out the door. So
I see Mo popped in. They made it to Vegas.
All right.
Welcome. We will see all of you guys tomorrow.
Woo, woo, woo.
We're hanging out with Mo and Linda and Sally and Rudy, who were at the cookout yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing here?
What you got? Ooh, look at it. She got a little pink eye there.
A little bit.
Little pink eye.
So this is a very small, I think I have the measurement there in the listing. This is a very small doll head, and it's a chalkware, and it's covered. It's like wax coated chalkware, and it's just the head. And this was 5.5 inches. So with a little mohair wig, this is like early 1900s. I don't know what these would have been used for a pincushion or anything like that. But it sold, this came in my big doll haul. So what did I pay? $0.25 for it with everything else? I paid about $0.25. It sold for the price you see there, $102.66.
This is like the creepy doll version of the zombie in Return of the Living Dead, the one that they captured. It's just got like its spine hanging down, and then they Laura's like, and it's alive because it's a zombie.
It's a metal wire,
and but it looks like this, and it's basically just a torso and a spine hanging down, and they interrogate it to find out why it eats brains, and it turns out it's because of all the pain they're in from being dead, and the brains make them feel better. How do you like that story?
That was a freaking reach. That was a reach.
All right, anything else?
No, that's it. I don't have a 10-minute story for every single thing I sell.
I was helping you out. I was giving you a story to go along with yours. Okay, so this t-shirt I actually sold yesterday. Button Your Fly, Levi's 501. This is not like a super rare shirt by any means. If you go and look up comps, there's quite a few of them out there. I picked this up one of my Torgum visits, so I paid $10 for it. It was definitely super worn out. Got a couple of markings on it, but come on, it's a pretty cool old Levi's t-shirt. Sure. So I sold it yesterday, and I was like, what is going on? Because they paid like $50 for shipping, and I'm like, $50? How'd they pay $50 for shipping? So first, let me show you what it sold for. It was 10% off, so they actually bought it for $43.19. But then they paid $50 for shipping, and it turns out because it's going to Canada, and they paid for express shipping international. So I'm not even sure how much it's actually going to cost to ship it to Canada for express. And so I actually had Britt, it was yesterday during our thing, and so Britt looked up the name of the person that bought it real quick, and we figured out it's a costume designer working on some television show that's coming out in 2021. So we were like, yeah, I think it's something coming out on like BETV or something like that. BET, Bet TV. I don't know, what did you say, BET? BET,
the Black Entertainment Network.
Yes. Some 2021 show. So we figure like that's in her IMDb credits. So we figure that must be what it's for. But something filmed up in Canada. So
interesting.
I always think it's fun. And that also means why is that exciting when you sell something to a costume department?
It never comes back.
It never comes back.
They don't leave feedback either. It never comes back.
They're never going to say, oh, I don't like the condition this is in. Now, obviously, I was pretty clear about, okay, there's holes, there's some markings. But still, you're never going to have a problem. They're never going to be like, oh, it's a little tight. You got to send it back. That's my buyer voice, apparently.
Ew. Ew.
They always pay a lot for shipping to get it fast, and then apparently they're all big procrastinators.
And they always use their own FedEx. Almost always. They didn't do this time. They almost always give me the FedEx number and want you to use their FedEx account, which I'm totally okay with.
Yeah. All right. Next one for you.
This one is, this is pre-photo room. Look at the shading.
Oh, terrible
photos. No,
terrible Muriel.
Anyway, these are I got a big lot of St. John items that I purchased from a friend back east, and this happened to be part of that lot. These are just some bootleg, bootleg style or boot cut style St. John knit black knit pant, just typical St. John. There's the tag. Made in the USA. Most of the St. John collection is made in the USA. Even now, these are probably vintage, but the style doesn't change much. So I did not even mark them as vintage. I paid $15 or so, averaged out, and it's $102.66.
Nice.
Greg says that's my soul in that pic. They're black and it's black and shady. That's your soul.
All right. This cool Jurassic Giants Raptor t-shirt. This is just a cool, it's like a heather gray all over print dinosaur t-shirt that I got from yesterday's fits. I paid like $40 for it. I probably paid a little more for it than I should have, but I mean, come on, it's just cool. I like all the dinosaurs, guys. But I paid $40 for it, and I sold it on Etsy. And let's see what I sold it for. Got a soft spot for dinosaurs all over print. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh my god!
You like that?
No, I do not. I flippin' hate when you do that.
You guys, she hates my joy. $99.99. It was 10% off, so I did sell it for $89.99. So not too shabby. Now, normally I probably shouldn't have paid more than like $20 for that shirt, but I just wanted it. I liked it, so I got it. But made some money on it. So
and still have a 10-minute explanation for your dinosaur.
Well, no, a lot of it was singing my own one-of-a-kind, made up on the spot song for you. So
good
there you go.
Gravy.
Boop, boop. Your turn.
These were a buy from yesterday's fits, but it was probably I purchased it when this came from their $5 pile when they were changing locations. So this was a really inexpensive purchase. $5, vintage 90s. We all know the swishy pants with the zip up. Yep, you walk like. So I paid $5 for them, vintage 90s Adidas, and they sold for.
You want to do the lookup song?
No.
Go ahead. It's your turn.
I'm not.
She's not going to look it up.
This is why our show is so damn long.
She's so mad. I'm trying to add some time on so that by the time Cheryl gets home, we're still on. All right.
$99.95. It took a while to sell because what was that? That thing was over a year ago. I
think it's like 2 years now.
Is it really that long?
It was like 2019,
pre-COVID. So they were listed a long time, but zero interest on eBay, and then they just kind of sold out of the blue for $100.
Mm-hmm.
I knew someone would find them.
Yeah. All right. Next up is, I've had this sweatshirt for quite a while, well over a year. I think it's got a great graphic on it. And I think I've had like offers on it. In fact, I think I've had at least once or twice.
Purnell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Yeah. I think at least a couple of times I had somebody like make offers and then just never pay, which is super annoying. Notice though that the date on it is March 4th, which is my mother's birthday and your child's birthday. She was born what, 96?
93.
93. Oh, so she was 2. This is when she turned 2. Just a tiny little nugget. Anyway, so I've had this for a while, but somebody went ahead and bought it. And let's see how much they paid for it. I like getting boxing stuff though. And I feel like when I have boxing stuff, sometimes it sells right away. And sometimes it takes a while, but I don't really know boxers.
I just like that person's boxing name. I thought that was a pretty cool name.
All right. So again,
Purnell Sweet Pea Whitaker. That's
10% off. So I sold it for $89.99. So a nice little sale right there. But yeah, I don't know boxers. I don't know who the popular ones are. I mean, other than like the obvious ones. It's like I never know when it's going to be one that somebody's going to care about. But if I like the graphics and it's not going to cost me too much, this one I paid like $10 for, so it wasn't a big deal. But $90. Next up, ooh, look at this fancy thing.
Yeah, this is just picked up for maybe $4. This was a Deseret Industries pickup. Just vintage house coats, robes. I talk about those all the time. I sell them all the time. I will buy every one that I find. I love selling robes and house coats. I don't know why people buy them. I personally would not be wearing something used that someone slept in, but that's just me. So I paid about $4 for it, and I don't have a 10-minute story for everything, so Katie needs to pay attention. And it sold for.
What did it sell for? Think he's gonna punch me right now. Pew pew pew.
$89.95. It is a Valley of the Dolls looking house coat, but it's kind of that weird scratchy acrylic fabric.
Well, this picture makes it look like it goes for days.
Yeah, it's long thing. But anyway, it's that weird scratchy acrylic fabric that I can.
So comfy.
No, it's not.
You just want to rub your face on it.
But I don't know. Anyway, $90.
Yeah.
I paid $4. I always sell the vintage house coats.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up is this Wright State University Raiders Final Four sweatshirt. I always find Final Four t-shirts. I don't find Final Four sweatshirts very often. Usually, because Final Four is basketball. Usually, stuff like bowl games, which is football. Those I'll see, like Rose Bowl. I'll see sweatshirts for those all the time, but I rarely see Final Four sweatshirts. And I think this is the first time I've ever gotten anything that's Wright State. So I thought this one was pretty interesting. And when I looked it up, there's pretty much no vintage Wright State stuff out there that I could really find. So of course I priced it high, and I've maybe had this listed for a few weeks. I don't even think it's been a month yet. So let's see what it sold for. And again, you guys, I'm always talking about any kind of university stuff for pro sports, college sports, pro sports, all those really well. And I sold it 10% off, $89.99. I paid $15 for this, turned it into $90. So pretty good little flip. Was that fast enough for you, bitch?
Not really. Not really. Not at all, actually. This is actually one of those good sales on On Poshmark, this is a pair of Mother jeans. The brand is Mother. And they were in really nice condition. They've that deconstructed, destroyed patchwork looking thing, but they were in a fantastic shape. I paid $4 or $5 for these on one of our thrifting trips. I'm not sure when, but they sold for $80, which is a good sale price.
Marked down from zero.
No, zero. It's not marked down. That's your original price.
I know. That's why I said marked down from zero.
Well, you don't use Poshmark. I didn't know if you knew.
I know. I was being jokey.
So yeah, sold for $80, which is a good Poshmark sale. Because I probably would say my lowest average sale price is on Posh, because Posh people don't like to pay for money.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's a pretty good price for a pair of pants somebody fell down in the street in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe got dragged a little ways. They look pretty ripped up.
They do.
All right. Next up, look what I sold. Look what I sold. Look what I sold. Look what I sold. I don't know if have you seen Leah in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Gracie's Vintage.
I have not.
Anyway, so this sweatshirt has been at Gracie's Vintage for probably 5 million years. Literally, guys. Literally
5 million years.
Yes. I saw it and I literally pooped my pants, and literally it's been there forever.
Don't say that anymore.
Anyway, but I would always see this on the rack, and of course I think of George Michael and Wham.
You gotta have faith.
Well, it was the t-shirt he's wearing in the Wham video, and Wake Me Up Before You Go. Yeah, and so anyway,
Wake me up.
But she had it like when she first got it, she priced it high because I mean, come on, George Michael, Wham. So I never got it. And then last time we were in there, she had marked it down. She had it on the clearance rack. And
it's also tiny.
It is very tiny. Very tiny. See, I got an XL. I got the
extra
measurements
small.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very, very tiny. And so I finally bought it for like $20 from her because she's like, at least you get it. And she cried and I cried. And we hugged each other. And I put it up. And seriously, I had it up for maybe 3 days. And it sold for $97 on Grailed. So apparently
you should have went online with
it needed to be on Grailed because seriously, she had it for so long and it's such a cool shirt. Very, very tiny.
Bug.
Very, very tiny. All right. I used to have that on vinyl when I was a kid. All right, go ahead.
Another Poshmark sale. This was
two Jurassic Park.
I know, right? This was a yesterday's fits pickup from me when we did our bulk purchase. I don't remember what I paid for this, but it was either $10 or $15. Definitely not more than that. And it was like new without tags. And it still had like crease marks on it from whatever. And it sold for $100. Again, another good Poshmark sale.
Very nice. Very nice.
$100. Not vintage, by the way. The tag is printed on there. It's Universal Studios, Universal Parks merchandise, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, last one up is this Marvin the Martian Canine t-shirt.
I like him.
Which this one I haven't had this for very long either. I think less than a month. Couple weeks. And I listed it. I had it up for $200. You can see there on eBay when it went on sale. I had it so it went on sale for $209.99. I had sent out multiple offers for I think $115 was the lowest offer to buyers I had sent out. And so when somebody sent me an offer on Grailed for $130, I was like, yeah. And it's some guy who's another seller. He's got like over 1,000 listings on Grailed, and he had some awesome stuff. So who knows? Maybe he's going to go and resell this for double the price because he's got the buyers for it. In which case I say yay. But sold it for $130. And of course, the thing I love about Grailed is somehow they managed to use PayPal as their payment processor, and yet they can also do immediate pay on offers. Guys, how is it possible? eBay couldn't figure it out. So as soon as I accepted it, that $130 was in my account. Super awesome. But just a cool shirt. I'm glad it went right away, but also kind of sad because we both like this one. Look how cute he is.
He's cute.
He's a cute little doggy. All right, let's hop on out of here. Pew!
What was that? Our space and time continuum noise right there?
You don't even know what you're talking about, do you?
I don't.
All right, why don't you go ahead and show us some stuff that you got?
So I don't have anything fantastic this week, guys. Sorry. I didn't do any sourcing. So I had to go and pick through some stuff that I haven't shown. And that's what you're stuck with. Okay. That's all you get. I don't have any hard goods today. So you're stuck with some clothing and a couple of things that are not clothing. One is this cute little dude. I picked him up at the bins. He is a squishy, soft Jellycat brand plush. I've got to find this one. The last Jellycat thing I had sold for $40. I don't know how much this guy's going to cost, but sell for. But I have to find his name first. And he sold, most of them. He cost me maybe 50 cents, and they tend to sell for like $40 and up.
Nice.
So I like that. Another thing I picked up, and not that this is like a huge moneymaker or anything, but I got this as part of my haul in Atlanta. I just wanted to talk about this for those of you that are realizing that the 90s fashion is back in style. 90s is really big again, especially like the early grunge 90s stuff and certain looks from the 90s. Stuff that I was wearing in high school is and right after I graduated is super hot again, early 90s. And this is one of those. This is
a good show.
This is one of the style Heathers, those type of things. This is one of the styles that was really hot then. This is not a big name brand. These are some dead stock shoes. Some of those women will recognize this brand in the chat. Bongo was the brand. It was one of those things. LEI, Bongo, Mud. The brands that we were wearing in the 90s for like jeans and clothing and stuff. So this is back. This kind of thing is back. These are dead stock. These are like platform, big chunky heeled shoes, rounded toe. This whole thing, this isn't a look that is back again. So, I think I paid I averaged out about $2 to $3 per item from our stuff that came in from Atlanta. And these are dead stock. And I think I'll list them for about $75. But this is big again. So just remember, it's kind of like I wanted to just tell you like certain brands and styles and women that I know that are watching the show are going to recognize this type of style because these were super hot in the 90s. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I think this one is also from Atlanta. No?
That's from the bins. I pulled it out of the bins.
Oh, this is from the bins in Portland.
Yep.
So this is just a fun equestrian vintage sweater. Look at this.
Little cardigan.
It's got like a horse with a little fence. In the back, it has some horseshoes. I don't know. It's a little over the top. It is not it's made in the USA. It's probably late 80s, maybe early 90s. I've never looked up this name. It's not a name that really means much. But this would be it's just a fun cardigan sweater. It's missing.
It's a super hipster cardigan.
Yeah, it's very hipster. It's missing a couple of big buttons on the front, but
they're like black buttons.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I think it's missing all the buttons.
I think it's missing all the buttons. It doesn't matter. You could wear it open front anyway, or you could add some buttons to it.
It's some black buttons. And
big black buttons would be fine. So I got it from the bins. Again, I think I paid, $1 and change for it. I'll probably list it for about $60 to $75. Equestrian core, a Breyer spokesperson outfit. Yes. All of those things, guys. Next, this is also from Oregon. And this is just a vintage early 80s. This goes back to the whole cottagecore style. Which is bound to be in fashion according to trending magazines and things like that and articles. Cottagecore is going to continue into spring of next year. So this is a winter or fall skirt because it's velvet. And it has like this, they call this kind of like almost like a ditzy print, DITZY. That's kind of like a small floral print, they're calling that. So, anyway, so this is just it's tiny. It has a tiny waist. It is small. No name. Again, I'll probably sell this for like 45, 55, something like that. Some questions here. Jelly shoes are early 80s, Naomi, not 90s. And jelly shoes did come back from various name brands. So and were made very cheaply. So those did not quite hold their value as far as vintage, but you could still sell them. Specifically jelly shoes, but mud stuff is definitely people in their 40s. I'm going to be 46 next week, so that's definitely what it is. And then Tommy,
my name is Mud.
Vintage shoes. Is it more about name brand or style? I think it's both. Sometimes it's going to be name brand, but for the most part, it's going to be style when you're talking about vintage. Just like clothing, it's not always name brand. A lot of it is style. Let's see. 2 more things I got from. These are from Atlanta. So I've got some really bad vintage elastic waist. These are probably 70s, early 80s. Gym shorts, coach shorts. Look at how short those are. These are nylon. These are definitely,
if you want real
these
slow
are definitely
swimmers.
short, really short nut huggers from like, late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
They're horrible, but they sell. I don't know who's wearing this shit, but they sell. They're nylons or polyester. They're so, I feel like the fabric is so uncomfortable.
If you want to overheat your sperm, there you go.
These are men's, guys. These are men's, shorty short. Think of the brand McGregor. Neither one of them are brand McGregor, but that's the brand that I think of when I think of these, like early 80s coach shorts for sure. Like I think of the coach from what is the show? Goldbergs. Is it the Goldbergs that coach is on?
Wow.
With the short shorts. Yeah, I think of him. So I don't know what I'm going to sell these for, but I think they sell for around $50 a piece. And those are a bigger size. They're not super tiny. And I'm betting they're going to sell to someone in Europe. That's my guess.
What's that supposed to mean?
Europeans like short shorts.
That's true.
They do.
And Speedos.
Yes. Think of the guy at the pool the other day.
It's true.
All right, your turn.
All right.
Then I'll do my last batch after.
Let's see. I got to figure out which ones of these I want to show. I grabbed this. So I pretty much only do t-shirts and sweatshirts. I grabbed this thinking Vikki might want it. She went, nah. She went like this. No,
that's not true. I don't want to pay what you paid for it.
But that's fine because I think it's cool, and I will list it myself and probably sell it for like at least $60.
You paid like 15 or 20
for
15.
it?
Yeah, too much.
So it's just I really like that it's only printed on one side, but it's like a baseball jersey, cotton baseball jersey style, and it's Goofy playing baseball. It says official goofball because his name is Goofy. So he's an official goofball. Anyway, I paid $15 for it. It's in really good shape. So I'll probably put it up for $100 and hope I sell it for $75. $65 the lowest, but
pathetic.
You're pathetic. Okay. I got this San Francisco 49ers. 1988 Super Bowl sweatshirt. This one I paid like $10 for. Looks like it's been laundered by smelly detergent.
You haven't laundered it yet?
No, I think Jesse probably washed it, so it's got like that real strong detergent smell.
I almost wore that today.
Yeah. So Allison's actually the one who spotted these first, and I was like, heck yeah, I need to get those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 6 of these, but Vikki stole one.
I yoinked one.
She yoinked one.
I didn't eat it. I yoinked it.
You are correct. She did not eat. She yoinked. These are all. I've got 5 of these now. The Pope. Apparently, he went to Los Angeles in 1987. I'm sure somebody in the
Pope
chat.
John the Paul.
I bet Jacob will probably say, "I was there."
Pope John the Paul II, not the current Pope. Pope John Paul.
Thanks for letting us know. Anyway, from 1987, these are probably, for the most part, they're like dead stock because they're probably just like overstock. QT tags.
F and Julie's in the house.
F and Julie.
Downtown Julie Brown. You need to change it to F and Julie.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've got the Pope in pink. I have the teal one. What color did you get? Teal?
Teal.
Yeah, she stole my teal one. I got another pink one. I've got a yellow one. It's not really showing up as yellow. It's a yellow one. And then another yellow one. So I got like 5 of these in various sizes and colors. And Vikki did steal one of the teal ones. So
what are you gonna
those, I got to look up and see what any of them sold for, but I'll probably try to sell them for like 70 each. 70. And I bought them for like $10 a piece.
Woohoo, I'm wearing a $70 vintage t-shirt.
I bought it for $15.
With the Pope on it.
No. All right, this one.
I am.
This one's making my...
I yoinked one.
You didn't eat it. This one's making my eyes hurt. back in the day, guys, if you were a skater kid like I was back in the early mid 90s, you were all about the Massimo. This is before Massimo became a
Cheap Target brand.
But I remember the shirt too. So I don't know if you can see like how it's kind of fuzzy.
It's like an eye doctor.
Kind of fuzzy, and it says "Sight for Sore Eyes," and it's like super fuzzy.
It's supposed to be fuzzy.
Anyway, this was a cool skater brand. This and like
show them the older tags so they can see like
so
the difference between Target Massimo and current Massimo.
And this is a limited edition graphic made in the USA, authentic Massimo. So there were different skater brands back in the day, and some of them, like Ocean Pacific and Massimo, sold out to bigger companies and became just cheap crap.
Walmart and Target, respectively.
Exactly. And other brands like Stussy that stayed small and still are, they're not as popular right now because I think Stussy was so big a few years ago that people are kind of burnt out on them. But their brand lasted through the decades because they didn't sell out. But I'm sure Massimo and Ocean Pacific probably made a lot more money, but
I'm sure.
That T-shirt just makes me remember my childhood a little bit.
A full price sale on Posh is something to woohoo about, Tommy, for sure.
Woohoo! Next up, a little nostalgia here. This is on like a late 70s, early 80s Hanes tag. Show you that right
Again,
there.
early 80s, late 70s is when you're going to see those the sizes where they actually put the chest measurements in the size on some things.
This is a MASH T-shirt. You see MASH, the television show, not the movie. I prefer the movie personally. I never got into the TV show. The movie, though, is fantastic. One of the greatest American films of all time. 20th Century Fox Television, single stitch. I have no idea what I'm going to price this at.
That was probably a
like
cast member shirt.
I don't know, maybe.
Or like if not cast, somebody that worked on the set. Because otherwise, it's not sold for retail for it to have 20th Century Fox on the sleeve, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'll definitely have to look this up. So I have no idea. I don't know how rare this particular one is. But I paid like, $10 for it. It's a cool shirt. Cool.
I like it.
Let's see. And this was I got this for $15. I haven't looked it up or anything yet, but it's Alabama. I know Alabama's not the most exciting band for people who like to wear band t-shirts, but what a great baseball tee. They call this a baseball tee or a raglan tee. This is the Roll On Tour 1984. And this shirt is in great condition. It's really nice and soft too. You feel it?
If this were bigger, I'd probably yoink this too.
Oh, I would not allow that to happen. So again, I got this for $15. I have not looked it up. I don't know what the going prices are, but basically I'll look and see whatever the going price is, and then I'll go a little higher, if not a lot higher, or maybe there's none, and then I'll really price it up. But I don't really know what Alabama t-shirts in general go for, so I'll have to look it up. I paid $15 for it. All right, why don't you go ahead and show the rest of yours, and then I'll show the rest of mine.
Okay. So this was a Portland purchase from the bins as well. Just a vintage, almost like a Harrington jacket on the bottom,
really
but it's like this weird sweater material with the diamonds. And then it has like faux leather on it. I don't know. It's got a whole lot going on. The tag is probably late 70s, early 80s, made in Italy. And it actually, that tracks for the style here. It's almost like a cardigan sweater jacket. It's got like this weird shawl collar, but it's lined like a jacket. Guys, I don't freaking know. But it's made in Italy. I picked it up in the bin. So again, I paid a couple of dollars for it. I'm just going to have to, think of some really good keywords as far as title and pricing. But I would say that this is probably like a $75 jacket. It's very hipstery.
It's very nice.
On the right person. Nice. It's nicely made. The name is irrelevant because it's not any type of brand name that anybody would know. I can't remember, guys, if I showed this on a previous haul or not. Katy says no. I'm 50-50. If I did, I apologize. I'm showing it again. But this is a defunct streetwear brand of clothing, Franchise X, made in Japan. It's got that cool skull graphic. It's a hoodie. This was a bins.
It might have been bins.
I think this was a bins purchase. I don't know if it was Portland or here. But either way, it was less than $2, and this should sell for about $75.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's got like the samurai art, skeleton.
It's kind of like anime.
Very, very cool.
It's a nice graphic, and it's not faded. It's not stained. It's in good shape. It's a smaller size. It's either a small or a medium sweatshirt, but it has that really soft inside too. It's a small. So this is what the tag looks like. Franchise X.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. Again, $2 into 75. I'll take that. Katy found this for me. Portland?
Yeah, that was. I think it was in. Oh, it was in Salem. It was at that store that I like to go to.
And I paid. I'm looking at it right now. I paid $8 for it because the tag they wrote on the tag with a VIII, so that must have been maybe $8. Vintage. This is like a slub knit. If anybody knows what a slub knit is.
What the heck is a slub knit?
It's this textured kind of sweatshirt material, slub knit. So it's a vintage TNC surf. So it's a surfing slub knit sweatshirt with a V-neck. And it's a good size. I haven't looked this up yet, but I think I can get about $100 for this. There's not a lot of vintage TNC surf stuff.
Yeah, mostly t-shirts.
So that's in a good one. And I think I have just a few more things. Let's see. I think this is a bins purchase as well. Again, I haven't shopped anywhere but the bins. So it's either from Atlanta or the bins. Either way, it's $3 or less. So this is a vintage men's. Speaking of tiki, Hawaii, all that kind of stuff. I did not make up that word, Julie. Shut your mouth. Vintage tiki fashion. This is like 1960s, 1970s, around there. This is a swim jacket. So this is for a man. So a guy would wear this over swim trunks. Poolside. This is very Viva Las Vegas. This is bark cloth, vintage bark cloth. It's a swim jacket or swim robe, as it were. It's not a huge size. It's like a smaller or medium. But it's in really great shape.
Show the texture if I can get close enough to show the texture. See, can you see the texture and the weave? That's the bark cloth. It's like this kind of rough weave textured. If you ever find a shirt and you're wondering, look close and you can see that.
Yeah, so this will sell really well. I have this priced at about $150. You don't find these very often, and the tiki culture, especially coming to like the Viva Las Vegas stuff, VLV, and tiki and Polynesian wear, this is going to be really hot right now in the summer. So, pun fully intended, it's hot, but Palm Springs, very mid-century style. Someone is going to love that. Tommy, if you have a pair of shorts that match this shirt, we need to talk. Because if it's that same pattern, I would buy it from you to make a set. Let's see. So I have it priced at like $150, and I think I'm going to get that for it, or close to it.
It feels real good against the skin. The bark cloth.
It's a little rough. Bark cloth is really cotton. It's 100% cotton. It's just texturized cotton. Let's see.
You do 20% off when you do your offers, right?
Yeah, I minimum 20% off. Sometimes I do 50% off. It depends on what I have it listed for. I mean, I have prices all the way from, $25 to $1,800 on price tags on items. So it really depends on if I'm trying to move it, or, maybe I've had something for 6 months and I haven't had any interest. I'll send 50%. I don't really know. This was another bins buy. So this is just nothing special, just a size large. Alpaca and acrylic. I'm always picking up alpaca stuff. Alpaca sells well. So this is like a vintage 90s. You can tell by the colors. It's maroon, blue, and like that olive and hunter green type of oversized, sweater, men's sweater. And it's alpaca. So alpaca sells very well. Like I said, again, this was a bins find. So $2 to $3, no damage to it. I'll probably sell it for like $75. I just said no damage and then just found a moth hole as I said that. I think. Oh no, I guess not. That was just a fabric. It was just a knot.
Tricks.
Yeah, my old lady eyes. Yet another bins find. This is another alpaca bins find. This one is vintage, and it's Peruvian Alpaca. This brand sells very well right here when you do find it. I think this is a really big size, and it's at men's, or I mean, really, this is kind of unisex, but this is
They have the little alpacas on the alpaca.
Alpaca on the alpaca. It's fuzzy. These, I mean, it is summertime, so depending on where you're selling to, I don't ever hold back stuff. I list it all the time. But this will sell for, this will sell for at least 100 and change. Look, Courtney, hi. I see Courtney comment tags in there. Kids, if you do not follow Courtney on YouTube, you really should. Her hauls are adorable. She's just the cutest thing ever. She sells primarily on Poshmark, but she knows her stuff. She's really fun. And I actually, as you all know, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but when I do, I have tuned in and watched her a few times. I shouldn't say more than a few times, but there's really only a handful of people that I watch, and she's one of them that I'll tune into. She's really cute. If you don't follow her, you should, especially if you're a posh seller. She knows her stuff. Anyway, so this will sell for like $125 to $150. It's a large size. Again, I might sit on it for a while, but if I paid $2 for it, I don't care if it takes 6 months to sell.
Yeah.
I have the space. Doesn't matter. One more sweater to show. I have 3 more things total, guys. One more sweater. I did pay up for this one. I paid $25 for this. This is a vintage Dale of Norway. Again, these have pewter buttons. This is when you're looking to buy sweaters, aside from vintage made in Australia Coogee sweaters, the Dale of Norway sweaters are kind of the epitome of sweaters to pick up for resale. They're probably one of the only types of sweaters you're really going to sell for over $100 and $150. This is a vintage Dale of Norway tag. Let's see if I can get that in focus. There we go. Dale of Norway. And they sell, I mean, they're almost all Nordic print. And this is a red men's, and it's a big size. This is a really good one. And then they have these pewter buttons, which have a really pretty design. They're kind of one of their signature things. And there you go. This one should sell for, I'm going to have it priced probably, I think I'll price it around $200, and knowing that I'll take an offer on it, but it may take a while to find it. Common Tags is her name on YouTube, her channel. If you just click on her name, it should bring you right to her channel in the chat. And her name is Courtney with Common Tags.
So Megan's asking about how we organize our inventory. So Vikki and I both, there's probably better ways that we could do our businesses are completely separate, but we have similar philosophies when it comes to storing our inventory. Some people go all out and they have like numbered bins, and it's really super fast to find their stuff.
We are not those people.
Neither one of us like doing that kind of work up front. And so for me, I have all my jackets are hanging on racks out in the garage. I built piping, double level piping racks out in the garage. So that's where all my jackets are. And then all my t-shirts and sweaters are all in those 27-gallon black bins with the yellow tops that you can get at like Costco and Home Depot. And I have them, like all the sweatshirts are just all in bins. They aren't organized by size or anything like that, because it really isn't. If I have 3 of them, it takes me 10 minutes tops to go through all the bins and pull them all out. And then all my t-shirts are done by size. So if I have, tomorrow, if I have 5 or 6 extra large shirts, I know when I'm going through the extra large ones, pull those ones out. What do you do with yours?
So probably 75% of my items are hanging on those racks that she talked about. I have double hung racks. We have a 2.5 car garage, and 3 out of the 4 walls are two levels of hanging. So I hang sweaters, blazers, vests, jackets, and dresses.
Everything else, find stuff.
Everything else goes in bins, folded in bins. So, all right, I've got 2 more things to show, and then I'm going to be done. So one of them, I did pick this up when we were in Portland, but I bought it at a vintage thrift store, and I did pay $15 for it. But it is a vintage 80s Jams World.
Ooh.
So that's like the best tag for Jams World, right? This is a size small. Jams World has always been collectible, but I feel like it's having its moment right now. I think the 90s Late 80s, early 90s Jams World stuff is totally coming back because it's these big, bright, loud jackets and oversized shirts, and the whole oversized rayon shirt thing that we did in the 90s, early 90s is back right now. Wearing them with leggings and baggy jeans. It's just I
feel like Jams World is like a Pendleton. You can see it from across the room.
Seriously, you can. I spotted this on a rack from across the room. Now, this is a women's Jams World. Men's definitely does better. Women's dresses sell great. Men's shirts sell way better than women's shirts. But this is a good women's. Even though it's small, the pattern is fantastic. And it's a big, long tunic rayon. I paid $15. I'm not going to sell this for less than $75. It's a really fun one. It's a long tunic top. So there's that. And then let's see. One of the things that I did pick up in Portland is there were...
Yes, in Salem.
Oh, yeah. This was in Salem. There was a thrift store, and if we ever finish editing the video, you'll see the video from our sourcing trip in the Pacific Northwest a couple weeks ago. There was a thrift store that had an entire Gaylord pallet full of Hannah Anderson kids' clothes. Now, you've heard me talk about Katy will never sell kids' clothes. I hate kids' clothes too, but I will pick up things like vintage Polly Flinders or just vintage dresses in general for kids.
I have a couple of vintage kids' t-shirts.
This particular one, this is Hannah Anderson, so that's what the tag looks like. It's not vintage, but Hannah Anderson is kind of like, it's like the LuLaRoe for kids. It's fun, bright patterns for kids. It's wholesome clothing. It's not like, if you have children, children or grandchildren, you'll find, especially little girls, it's really hard to find wholesome clothing. It doesn't have cartoon characters all over it like Nickelodeon stuff, which I think looks super cheesy personally. Or B, it's like they make the kids try to look so much older than they are. It's like they've taken adult clothing and putting it on little kids. And, there's a whole other conversation to be had about that, but their clothing is really nice and wholesome. Let's put it that way. And it's well made. So
yeah, and like Lauren says, it's better fabric.
It's really nice fabrics. It's better quality. It lasts really well. It's like back in the day when I was a little girl, like Rothschild clothing or like Health Techs, like the type of brands that would sell well and you could wash them and wear well.
And Tara says it's also eco-friendly fabric.
So like Oshkosh used to be, exactly. That must be Elle that would know that. Probably not Nate. So anyway, what they had was an entire Gaylord of probably last season's Hannah Anderson stuff, brand new, all new with tags, all different sizes, shirts, dresses, pants. I couldn't take it all and they weren't going to give me a discount, but I bought 35 pieces, I think.
Yeah.
And I paid $5.99 a piece, all new with tags. And so even the cheapest items I'll probably sell for at least $30 to $35. This is just one. This is just a cute little girl's dress with like rocket ships on there. And so stuff like that. So I paid $5.99. I have it listed for like $40, and the price tag on it originally was $56. Mm-hmm. So I was happy with those prices.
Yeah.
35 pieces at $5.99 a piece. I'll make my money on it no matter what.
Sure.
And I think I'll probably end up selling the majority of it on Posh or Mercari because that's where the market is going to be. Yes, a little bit on eBay, but we're thinking this is going to be 20-something, early 30-somethings that are buying for their kids. That female demographic is shopping on Posh. They're not shopping on eBay as much. So I know that this is probably going to go on Posh. Hannah Anderson adult clothing can go as well. I actually picked up a bunch of Hannah Anderson adult pajamas in that. So yes, exactly. Some are desirable, some are not. Yes, and it's Matilda Jane stuff. It kind of tanked. You're right. I still pick up Matilda Jane when I see it too, but
yeah.
So again, I wouldn't necessarily pick up Hannah Anderson used unless you can get it for pennies, but Hannah Anderson new with tags, yes.
Yeah. Well, and then we have a friend, Jennifer, she's a seller, but also her daughter's married to my nephew, coincidentally, and she's opening a brick and mortar kid shop, and she lives in the area where we were. And so I immediately messaged her and took some pictures and said, you might want to come down here if you want some good stuff for when you open your store. And so she went down there with her daughter, and I
think she bought the rest.
Well, they didn't buy the rest of it, but they bought a lot of it, and I think that the people that maybe worked there were like, what's going on here? And they were acting a little weird, like maybe they priced it too low, or they were suspicious about why they were buying so much and kind of giving them an evil eye. But
So Jen asked, before we get started again, Jen asked, does it get really hot in our garage? Yes, it's at least 125 degrees in the garage because it's 100 change outside. So in the summer, we have the epoxied floors and it is somewhat insulated, but it does get very hot in there. We do not have climate control in the garage, but it does not affect the clothing. We use bins. We have things hanging. The garage does not get dusty like the rest of Vegas does, and it doesn't get damp or musty or anything like that.
Yeah.
The only thing I do not keep in the garage is media. I don't keep CDs or record albums or VHS things, and I don't keep candles. The candles would probably melt, but otherwise it stays pretty cool. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, the racks that line all three of the four walls probably help insulate it and keep it a little bit cooler, because when I had fewer items in my garage, it was always much hotter, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can't move in our damn garage, to be honest.
Anyway, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So next up, I have a couple things that actually came back this week from Crystal repairing them. This one I still have to do. No, I think I already sweater shaved the front of it. This is like a sweater / sweatshirt or whatever that. I guess it's really,
it is the weirdest.
It's Zuba's, Zuba's pants. You can see this material right here. Well, look at this sweatshirt, guys. This is awesome. I'm
jealous of this one because I would totally. Yeah. I've sold a lot of the pants.
So New York Giants, and you can see like this would look great with the pants. There's a whole ensemble, but then it's got like sweater material right here. But it had some places along the seams where it had come undone, and somebody did a really terrible repair job, and it was like with white thread. But luckily, it was all along seams, and so I was able to have Crystal repair all of those, and so it looks great. And all of those bad repairs are gone. But I paid like $15-20 for this. I haven't looked up this exact one. Some Zuba stuff goes for kind of cheap, like in my opinion, way cheaper than it should. But this one,
I always price mine high too.
I'm going to price this really high. I should be able to get minimum 100, but I'll probably price it like 200, and like my bottom number would be 100.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's pretty awesome.
Real quick in the chat, you guys all talking about garages and climate control and things like that. It really depends on where you live. Mm-hmm. I will tell you, I would never have kept stuff in my garage in New England because it gets too humid and too damp in the winter and the spring. So it really depends on where you live. Unless you live right here and you're asking because you live here in the high desert, then do not take what I said about whether you need climate control or not, please. Yeah. My garage is a completely different climate than anybody else's unless they're in the same town.
Yeah.
So it really depends on you. I like the climate control. We have one for our personal stuff. We have an actual, storage unit for a lot of our personal stuff because we had to make way for more eBay stuff. But I don't feel the need for it. I've never seen it affect the glue on shoes that I sell. And I have hundreds of pairs of shoes in my inventory. It's never affected a single pair, but your mileage may vary. It does depend on where you are. Other than the normal Dansko and Clark soles and things like that crumble over time, that might be exacerbated by a super, dry climate.
Yeah. All right, next up is this Cliff Angle 49ers sweater. So see, I do pick up some sweaters still sometimes. You can see it's the Cliff Angle Pro line. This is a large, made in the USA. And this one did have some condition issues. It had like a pretty big hole on the side. Now, with something like this, you're going to see the repair. It's not going to be a perfect repair because it's not on the seam. But I think that Crystal did a good job of just closing it because it seriously was just like a big hole hanging open, mm-hmm. Whereas this is just a little repair spot. I've had this exact same sweater before. I sold the last one for over $100. I would say this one probably try to get 100, but I'd probably go down to like 80 because it does have that spot on it. But it's still a great sweater.
I think somebody wearing that is not going to notice. You're not going to notice the repair.
No, not at all.
And yes, I do keep my vintage plush in the garage as well. I've never had a problem with any type of degradation on anything I keep in the garage. I've lived here for 8 years, and I literally 8 years. The other day was my 8-year anniversary in Las Vegas. I've never had any issues with any of my items being damaged by the climate.
Yeah. All right. So this Excalibur t-shirt, I just think the graphic is pretty awesome. Paid $15 for this. It's 90s. It's got the Fruit of the Loom tag, 90s tag on it. Again, this is all just the stuff that I picked up at yesterday's Fits when I was just taking Allison in there, and we were limited on our time. I only had 20 minutes, and somehow I still managed.
You still managed to buy like 25 things in 10 minutes.
Bucks.
I know.
Yeah. So speaking of snack teas, I'm actually excited about this one. I haven't looked it up to see if there's any others listed, but recently on Reddit, they had somebody asked the question, like, what is your favorite product that's been discontinued that you can't get anymore? And there were quite a few people who agreed that Butterfinger BBs, they were really sad about Butterfinger BBs. If you remember back in the 90s, they were like a little chocolate ball, and then the inside had the Butterfinger candy.
Crunch stuff. Yep.
And I think the other thing is that they recently, in the last couple of years, changed the recipe for Butterfinger, so it tastes nothing like what it used to. Anyway,
I haven't had any in a while, but yeah.
So I just have this 90s Butterfinger BBs t-shirt. So I'm excited about this one. Again, I might go on eBay and look it up and see that there's 100 of these and they're all selling for $15. I never know. Because I'm not going to sit there and look up everything that I buy, but I paid like $15 for it. So I felt like it was a good risk. So barring there being a million of them on eBay already, I'll probably price this one at like 100 and hope to get at least 75. Just a fun snack tee, single stitch on that Fruit of the Loom tag.
It is my birthday month, Greg. My birthday is a week from Tuesday. It'll be the 15th. The 15th is my birthday. And I'm old. I don't really sell. I'll be 46. I have 4 more years until it's actually a thing, until it's a big birthday. But yeah.
All right. Next up, I have this really awesome all over print. Let's see. What's the team? The Hawks. What was that? Atlanta?
I
don't know. Somebody out there tell me. The player is
Sportsing.
Xavier. It's hard to see because it doesn't have.
It's like really heavy.
Really dark print. It's very heavy because the ink on, like the
puffy
the print on it is very heavy. But just a really super cool all over print t-shirt. Again on this Fruit of the Loom tag. Get off your phone.
Okay, Mom.
We're live on TV. Anyway, I paid like $30 for this one. And I'll do a little more research to figure out who this player is. Xavier, I'm sure it'll be easy enough to
What are you going to sell it for if you paid $30?
Minimum 100, but I'll probably put it up for 200 at least.
All right.
But more than 100.
I don't know who Xavier is.
I'm sure Xavier Hawks, somebody probably will know in the chat.
Someone will comment on this thread and tell you who it is because they Googled. I think you'll like this one. I paid like $25 for this one. Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's got Taz on it. See, Taz is such an Oakland Raiders kind of character usually.
No, they're on all of the
LA Raiders.
Stuff.
I know, but
they put them on all of the teams have this stuff.
I feel like
it's Raiders are more popular.
I feel like I see it in a lot of Raider stuff.
Because you probably see a lot more Raider stuff.
Maybe.
Especially over here. But anyway, just a cool sweatshirt. I'll probably put this up for 100. Also on the Fruit of the Loom tag. You can see right there. Anyway, the last thing I'm going to show you, I kind of bought it for myself, kind of bought it for resale. I'll probably put this up on my wall for a while. Supreme. We're looking at Wisconsin High School Xavier Hawks. Okay, all right.
You're gonna get $200 for a high school person.
Well, I don't know.
T-shirt?
The Xavier Hawks. That's like the actual team. Is Xavier Hawks? That's weird. I'm surprised a high school would do like an all over print T-shirt like that. But Supreme streetwear is not really a brand I'm usually into, but every once in a while they do cool movie shirts, and this one I'm super excited about. This Itchy the Killer. So the director of this movie is Takashi Miike. He's one of my favorite directors, Japanese director, and even you know a movie by Takashi Miike called Audition, which is a really effed up movie, an effed up horror movie. Anyway, he's a really prolific director. He's probably directed easily like 150 to 200 movies, which means a lot of them are crap, and then some of them are super amazing. A lot of Yakuza, which is Japanese gangster movies, and that's what this one is. But I love this movie, and so when I saw on Instagram that Yesterday's Fits had this T-shirt, it's not. There's some on eBay for like $80 to $100. I paid $70 for it, so really I bought it more for me. and I'll probably put it on the wall for a while, and maybe I'll wait and see if the value goes up and eventually sell it. But I just bought it because I was like, Itchy the Killer, what? And it's got the one down the back, and you can see it says Supreme down the sleeve right there.
You would never wear that.
I said I'm going to put it on the wall.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. Anyway, not my body, on the wall. But it's a little big because it's like an oversized large. So yeah, it'd be too big for me to wear. Otherwise, I would wear it.
It might be Xavier University. So we have a super chat question here from Gail. When was 38 a plus size? I have a skirt by a brand I can only find on Poshmark, and they say 50s. Pretty sure that's wrong. That sounds wrong to me, but 38 is probably just not a U.S. size, especially if it was vintage. You're probably looking at an Italian or French as far as the sizing. So it's irrelevant, especially if it's vintage. It doesn't matter what the tag says. You are going to measure the waist measurement and look at a standard women's size clothing chart, and you are going to put 38. I don't really know I don't know what that equates to. How many inches is that waist is what you want to use. So you're going to look at the waist size for that skirt, and you're going to look at a standard U.S. women's sized clothing chart. There's several of them. Google. They're always within a couple of inches of each other. And you're either going to put it's extra small, small, medium, large, extra large. That's what you're going to do. And then you can put in your title description, you can put in your description, this is tagged as a, French size 38 or Italian size 38 or whatever it ends up being once you do some investigating. But this measures as a modern size small or current size small or whatever it may measure. Made in the USA. So 38 has never been a size that's been used. So that either is a typo or they were appealing to a foreign market. It might have been a size 38 that was manufactured and sold in Japan. There's too many variables to understand it, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to price it and describe it and list it under the size that it is now, what it equates to now.
All right. Yeah, I see some people saying that they see the Butterfinger BBs for lower prices. You know what? I don't care. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to sell it for over $60, and that's just the way it's going to be.
You probably are.
Can stop me.
So, Royce, New York doesn't mean anything to me. Again, vintage names and vintage sizing. For the most part, 95% of the brand names when you're talking vintage are irrelevant too. So that would be something. If you can't find anything else by that brand, then that means it's really irrelevant. You're going to put that in your description, what the brand is. Obviously, you're always going to disclose that, but you don't need to put it in your title. It's not going to add any value to it. Depending on the type of plaid skirt, what the style is, what the length is, whether it's pleated, whether it's full, whether it's fitted, what your fastening things look like, what your zippers look like, or anything like that. That's going to help you determine what era or what decade. Vintage plaid skirts are one of those things that's kind of timeless. So you may just put vintage. It might just be something that it could be 60s, 70s. Plaid was definitely way more 60s than 50s. If someone has priced it and said that it's 50s, they're probably not correct. But plaid was really a thing. That whole collegiate mod thing was definitely 60s into 70s. So in my opinion, you can send me a picture if you want, if you need some help, but just putting vintage and then going by current measurements is going to be good enough. So.
Yeah. All right, we done?
Yeah.
You ready to go in the pool?
Yeah.
You ready to get your new floaties out?
I am.
You gonna make me inflate them?
Yes.
Interesting.
We have a pump, guys. She's acting like I'm gonna make her.
But I have to go dig it out. I still have to do it. Are you gonna do it?
It's not like
she's gonna do it. Are you gonna do it?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Why aren't you gonna do it? It's so easy. It's so easy.
Boy.
Do it yourself.
Pool boy.
I'm gonna go take a nap by the pool. Bye.
We'll see you later, guys. Have a great weekend.